Yeah, okay. Now I'm live on Facebook. Hi, Facebook. I'm live, it looks like on YouTube. I'm live on Twitter. I'm live on LinkedIn. And if Twitch will have me, I'll be live on Twitch too. So thank you so much for me partnering up with Restream, who is just a wonderful company. I really appreciate them. So anyway, I'm live on all 5 places, and I'd just like to say hi and thank you. I'm Kesha. I am super happy to be streaming live on all 5 places. It's been kind of a dream of mine. I'm certified in social media. I'm certified in cybersecurity. I'm Kesha, and I go by the moniker of CyberSMAC. One of the reasons why I go by CyberSMAC is because I am really fond of cyber and the acronyms of SMAC, SMAC, which is cybersecurity. Of course, is cyber short for cybersecurity, but S is short for stands for social media. M stands for mobile. A stands for analytics, and C stands for cloud. And I'm all about those things. I'm all about any and everything that's technology, like cryptocurrency, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, artificial intelligence. I'm all about all of that stuff. I love it. If you have anything that you like to collaborate with me on, send me some type of direct message into any of those platforms that you're following me along with. And by the way, here's a plug to like, follow, and subscribe to any of the forums that you're following me on. And thank you so much. So I'm just going to just, you know, get into what I do. I usually go to an online forum and find some questions for me to talk about. Huh. Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's see here. Yeah, that's not good. Okay. Yeah, that's unacceptable. Somebody tried to put a link on here, and I just deleted them off of my Facebook link. Yeah, that's not good. That's not happening. Mm-hmm. So excuse me while I mhm. Okay, got it. Anyway, interesting. So anyway, I'm live. Like I said, I had to undo a leak. Someone immediately tried to tag along to my video, receive or tag my video with a link so that their page could get more likes, and I had to delete it. And so that's what cybersecurity is literally all about: is attacking real live sometimes people who are trying to do sinister things. I did not at any point say that they could put their link to my video, so I just disconnected their link and blocked them so that they can no longer associate my video with their link, because it was some type of sports league, Pakistani sports league, and I have no type of association with them. Not that they are good or bad or anything, but I have no association with them. So just kill that link. And that's what cybersecurity is all about. Basically, let me show my screen, because one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is something that I did a snip for, which is cyber my cybersecurity CIA triad, which is our baseline foundation that we go by. Confidentiality, availability, and integrity. And, them posting a link, it wasn't that had nothing to do with me, was a breach of integrity. They never asked for a partnership with me. So anyway, we got rid of it. I'll let it go. This is why I'm in this industry. I do this over and over again. I can't, yeah, I'm doing it. So I'm in the industry. Okay, excuse me here. I braided my hair together today. I've got it kind of like in this little knot that is not really wanting to act right. Okay, looks better. All right, did my hair. I have so many different looks, so you just have to just bear with me here. I'm going to also do something and see if I could go to my settings and change the way my camera is. That'd be great. So I'm going to mess around with my camera for a second because my camera has some type of setting where it's doing this mirror thing. And I really don't want it to do that. So I'm going to actually change that right now live. I am going to change that. Oh yeah, choose whether camera. Okay. It's like saying, okay, Kesh, you're using the camera. That's fair. I am using it. Okay. All right. That's better. Now I can see myself in this camera a lot better. All right, for those of you that just logged in, I want to say hi. I just captured live. I had to use my cybersecurity skills to unlink a company that just tried to link to me as soon as I went live. They tried to link to my video to have me captured into their audience, and I had to disconnect that link and block them on social media. And I will tell you that is exactly why I'm adding social media onto cybersecurity, because I believe that social media and mobile analytics and cloud, along with cybersecurity, are tools that are used in business that are going to help a company do better or maintain. Yep. And I'm so new to this. I can't wait till I'm like this super expert when I go live and everything's so cool. Like all the people who I watch, when they go live, I even feel like my voice is not even like my voice is not even relaxed. Maybe I should just take a moment for Zen. Take a moment so that I can just relax. Just be myself. I'm super awesome. And I don't know, you go live and you just get nervous, My voice doesn't come through like usual. It doesn't seem like my computer setup is perfect, which usually it's absolutely perfect. So I don't know. We're just going to deal with stuff and hopefully everything's going to work out. Okay, now we're going to go through some questions here. Actually today, what I did after I put up the CIA, which I just wanted to keep that up for a while because basically that is definitely a part of what is the major framework of cybersecurity is, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Those are the three. Someone new getting in, not knowing what cybersecurity is all about. This is something that you definitely need to look up and read more about and have different scenarios on what type of breaches could occur when you have a lack of confidentiality in business, what happens and what kind of breaches can occur if you have a lack of availability in business, and we're talking about in the IT industry and with IT processes within the business world. Okay. And then also, if you have a lack of integrity, you know, and there's so many different scenarios, and there's some scenarios that mix it. What is the mix of a breach of a lack of a lack of confidentiality mixed with a lack of integrity? What happens when you have a lack of availability and a lack of confidentiality, you know? And what happens, you could do all different type of scenarios. I won't go through all of them, but definitely something to look forward to looking through. And so today I picked out different items let me pull this over here so I can see this at the same time while I'm actually scooching through stuff, which helps. Okay, I'm gonna go down. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go because I have this. I went ahead and went to CompTIA's website and I downloaded their CompTIA A Plus certification exam Core 1 objectives. I don't know if you've done that, but it is a very good idea. A lot of my professors have emphasized that it's super important to learn what the learning objectives that are expected for you to know for all the examinations. And so when I looked this up, some of the stuff, of course, we've been going through. We're going to skip the assembly information. But of course, the length of the test is 90 minutes and it's multiple choice and performance based. And you have to have a 675 on the examination. And so just kind of making sure you know what's going to be on examination. 20% of the examination is networking and the other 27% is hardware. And then you have a 27% is hardware and network troubleshooting. And so I think right now we're going to stick with those three. And then, of course, virtualization and cloud computing is going to be something that, and mobile devices is going to be something that we're definitely going to look into, but not driving it hardcore in like we are going to do with networking and hardware. And when I mean mobile devices, they don't mean cell phones only, anything that's mobile, movable. Okay, not mobile like CyberSMAC mobile, which is they're talking about some. I guess what's interesting is we could incorporate everything into that. Yeah, mobile. Mm-hmm. We actually could. You could incorporate everything into that. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go down here to networking. So I've downloaded this PDF, and the PDF has on it some UDP and TCP ports, protocols, and purposes. And we're going to skip that today. It is super important to do, but we're just not going to do protocols, ports, TCP, and UDP today. Okay. What we are going to do is compare and contrast common networking hardware devices. And we're going to do that by using DogPal. Usually I use something else. And I'm always talking about how I want to use DogPal. and how I do use Dog Pal. And today we're going to use just Dog Pal. Okay. So the first thing that comes up is Ethernet over power. We're going to go backwards. And we're going to go to Dog Pal and we're going to look it up. Look what this statement says. Ethernet over power, or acronym EOP. And I am going to share my screen as soon as I get something else up. Ethernet over power. Yeah. Okay, looks like I found this nice little website so far. Let's see if it's a good one. Okay. Okay. This is perfect. We're going to okay, now that we're done with the CIA, we're going to show we're going to talk about what they call EOP and POE. Okay. So we may not get all of these done, of course, but we're just going to talk about one concept at a time. And eventually we'll have all the concepts talked about. So first of all, I want to thank Stephen Boccaro. This is his website that we went to. And so far it looks good. And it looks like it's an aged website. Sorry, Steve, but it does look kind of aged. Let's see if it has a... Okay, he goes in and copyrights it up to 2021. He's from Arizona. Okay, so okay, let's start at the top because you know how I like to figure out where things came from. And already this last paragraph is telling where it came from, but I just want to go to the front, to the top first because, you know, I'll get caught up in that. Okay, so what we have here is internet over power. Okay, and I'm hoping that you can see it big enough. I'm gonna make it bigger so that you can see my screen some more. And the EOP is Ethernet over power. It's Ethernet over power is a technology for sending network data over power lines in a building. And it looks like you get one of these TP-Link adapters, and it helps you get the internet over Ethernet. Okay. And it's probably some type of way for you to plug it in, plug something from your computer to this TP-Link. Okay. And this is a device called Ethernet over Power, or EOP adapter, plugs into a wall outlet. An Ethernet cable from your modem or bridge is plugged into the LAN port on the adapter. The network devices can then be plugged into EOP adapters in the wall outlets throughout the building. This eliminates the need to run Ethernet cables through the walls of the building. Of course, you could use wireless technology to eliminate the need to run cables, but then there is the security problem of the network signal being available outside the walls of the building. Okay. And so we're talking about EOP, which is Ethernet over Power. And it's talking about this EOP right here is the reasoning behind it. It's saying that if you have EOP and you use this Ethernet over Power adapter, and you plug your adapter into your computer, this eliminates the need to run cables through the walls of the building. Like, you just may not be able to do that. It may be an old building. Some of us lived in buildings before internet came about, so this helps with that. And it says, of course, you can use wireless technology to eliminate the need to run cables, but then there's the security problem of your network signal being available outside the walls of the building. The EOP adapters have built-in encryption for network security and data protection. So if you were somewhere and you were trying to use Ethernet and not really the wireless because you wanted to make sure that you had some type of encryption over your computer and you were more secure, this is something that you would use or something that you would suggest to someone to use. Okay. The ability to run Ethernet over power lines, even though the power line voltage is 120 volts and the Ethernet voltage is only 5 volts, is the result of the power line frequency being extremely low, which is 60 hertz, relative to Ethernet signal frequency, which is 500 megahertz. This means that the Ethernet signal can run on top of the power line signal without much effect on power devices, while the 120 volt level can be filtered out of the Ethernet signal. So if you had stuff running, you don't have to worry about you having to blow out like the microwave or the light bulbs or your light. You could put power over Ethernet. Oh gosh, I got something. Let's see here. Yeah. EOP first. Yeah, we're talking about Ethernet over power. And so now we get into right here where it's saying why it's super important on why, and then how you do have the ability because of the frequency and the power is allowing you to work in synchronization so that nothing gets cut off. You can actually get into the internet, okay? Yeah, through this internet. And of course, you got to have some type of signal coming into your adapter. You're not just going to plug this adapter in and bam, get the internet. So there has to be some type of internet going that you're picking up through this adapter. And now here's something that's the opposite of letters. It's PoE. Power over Ethernet is a technology for sending power over Ethernet power cables. Okay. Sometimes a device needs to be installed in a location where there is no power outlet. Okay. This is particularly common when placing wireless access points or IP security cameras. Okay. Ethernet network cables, such as Cat5e and Cat6, are comprised of 8 wires arranged as 4 twisted pairs. We talked about twisted pairs, such as copper cables, and 10 base T and 100 base T Ethernet. 2 of these pairs are used for sending network data. The other 2 pairs are unused and are retained as spare pairs. Gigabit Ethernet uses all 4 pairs. Okay. So now we've got this. Oh my God. So there are 2 separate things, PoE, EOP. Let's take a sip and let's go back over this some more. When we look at our CompTIA A+ study guide, it's saying that when you're talking about PoE, there's something called injectors and a switch. And so we need to make sure that we pick up on those two things. But here we are looking at the bottom two here. And we're basically looking at what these two things are. And so we need to make sure that we're picking up on injectors and switch. Okay, so we're gonna go back to this POE. And so because I can do like, let's see if we can do a Control F and do a switch. SWIT. There's no switch on here. Let's see if there's injectors. Okay, injects. And that is the POE, has some type of injects. Okay. Oh, something's wrong. Itchy. Okay, we're talking about the unused pair of the cable. Okay. So let's try to find another website is what I was trying to kind of go over, because that one didn't really, it didn't really have a lot of details when it came to the injection part. And so let's look at this. I want to look at this wiring diagram. What is this? Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's go to this. Where did this diagram go? Let's see here. I can open up this page. And now we're at Cisco here. Okay, we're going to let them do our cookies today and tomorrow. Let's just make sure we're on subject when we're talking about the EOPs and POE. I'm not sure. Let's see something real quick here. Oh, let's do POE. No. So Cisco, great, thanks, but that, we're trying to do power over Ethernet over power, and that was not really a good website. But here's something that maybe this would be nice. Okay, here's something: power over Ethernet wiring diagram. Okay, so we can kind of see this diagram. Wow, pretty neato. Okay, let's go to the first one and look at it. Okay, we're just looking. We're not going to go really deep into this stuff. We're just looking right now over what POE is and EOP, and it's because it's part of the A+ examinations. Here we are up here. CompTIA is telling us that this is some of our learning objectives for us to understand. And so even though on your own, you can go through whatever test prep you like, you can read whatever book you want, I am here to go over this information in different various ways so that we could absorb the information together, okay? And one of the ways that I like going over stuff is looking at pictures and diagrams, and especially if they are colorful. And so right now, we're looking at Ethernet cable, one to another. It looks like these are the twisted pairs. Okay, so we got brown, orange to orange, blue, green to blue, green. They're kind of backwards or flipped matching. And this is the PoE, power over Ethernet. So you've got some type of power supply and you're plugging this in. This is the camera. Like, let's say you were putting in cameras for a company or for the grocery store or such. And it looks like this is, okay. And then you plug the camera in using this Ethernet cable. Okay, and that's where this is coming. An Ethernet cable goes to the power supply and the camera gets plugged into there and you get power Ethernet cable. And right here, they've got this camera. They've got some type of device They've got some type of switch. And so I guess this is where the switch is coming in. So when we were talking about EOP, Ethernet over power, we're talking about the frequencies may not match and the power may not match. But because they don't match and because the Ethernet cable is going over the power, it's not disrupting anything that you have plugged into the power. And so it's okay. And you would want to do EOP because you're in a house where maybe there's internet cable going around or the internet is wired in some place of the building and you're wanting to pick up on some type of wireless signal that you're going to be able to pick up on. You're going to have the availability. We were talking about CIA earlier. You're going to have the availability to pick up on it. And so basically, that's the EOP, Ethernet over power. And now here is an example of PoE, power over Ethernet. And it has to do with the cables, okay? And the cables are saying that when you plug in for especially something like cameras, you are going to have to use power over Ethernet. And what they mean by that is the cameras may have to plug into the Ethernet because they use the 6 twisted pair Ethernet cables, and you're going to need to have power. Okay, and so here we are again. I just don't want anyone to get too overwhelmed with this. Don't get too overwhelmed with these diagrams. Just, take them little bit by little bit. Here's a switch. And it says Poe Injector. So this must be the injector here. And this must be the switch with PoE. Network data wires. Okay, this is probably is that diagram saying that it's twisted? I'm not sure. Data pair, here we are, and 48 volts, this is the power. DC to DC converter power. Device, camera, or door reader. Okay, gotcha. Let's go to this one, options for PoE power. Okay, so they're going to give us multiple different ones. So PoE network switch, Ethernet cable, and then it goes into this PoE device, wireless AP, CPE, or router, data and power. Okay. So here's something. Okay, so this is what the injector is. It's something that's going to come in the middle between the switch and the device. Ethernet cable. So you'd have to have 2 Ethernet cables for this. Data only, data and power, PoE injector, Ethernet cable. Okay. The switch, data and power. And this is a splitter, different than an injector because it's got some type of cord coming from the splitter. Okay, so PoE injector is okay. I think I see what's going on here. Not sure. Don't want to speak on it too much because I'm not the expert here. I'm just starting to study and understand this stuff. So here's another diagram. And again, we're not going to get too overwhelmed by diagrams. We're just going to look at them. And we're going to look at this as a switch. Okay, cable injector type. What's that say? We got to get this to be bigger. How can I get this bigger? Let's see here. Okay, perfect. Let's do this. Okay, and it's saying Ethernet cable, Ethernet switch, power supply, the power, power's going in, power's going out to something, it's powering something. This has, it looks like, oh, this is the twisted pair. So this is the Ethernet cable going in. Remember the brown, blue, something orange. The orange. This is definitely representation of twisted pair. And cable injector type. And I'm looking just to compare. This is Ethernet cable. It's connecting these two things together. And this is going into a router. This has got, the router has power, and so does this device. Okay, this is the twisted pair. Must be Ethernet cable. So Ethernet cable here, Ethernet cable here. Splitter, very interesting. Okay. All right, here's something else to do. If it's a camera or PoE, IP camera, or just the IP camera. So electrical power has to go to the camera, whereas the IP camera, I can't see why I wouldn't need electrical power though, but oh, here's the power coming up here. Okay. And so this blue is Ethernet data only, and this red is Ethernet with PoE, power over Ethernet, okay? And then both of them coming and going on network. You can see what's going on with the camera, and the camera is displaying like if it was your eyes, you're seeing things outside of it. Power over Ethernet, PoE explained, understanding, and using. We are not going to get overwhelmed by these pictures, okay? Got a few more to go. This is pretty neat. I'm so happy that we fell upon this page because this is much better. I do like reading words, but this is not the reading words time. This is PoE over EOP time. You have to excuse me. I got some type of allergy stuff going on. Okay. So it looks like PoE, there's a switch or a hub, twisted pair, orange, green, blue and brown represent the twisted pair, represent the Ethernet cable going back and forth. PoE, power over Ethernet, warp energy, okay? Switch or hub, and then it's powered in station. Data pair, okay. Let's go down. This is a Poe injector, okay. Excuse me. So the injector is injecting something into the network switch. It's connected to the network switch. It's showing us something or injecting something. And it's also injecting something into the camera, okay? Or the camera is sending something to this injector. We have electrical power and network data going back and forth. And then we have power going to the injector and power going to the switch. This picture here to me represents what CompTIA was trying to say. Make sure that you're aware of the switch and the injector, and whether this is an IP camera that is just a camera that's going to be placed outside, or whether it is some type of other device. They're saying, where does it go? And so to me, this is a really, really good picture, really good display for me kind of understanding. Wiring diagram to bitbower.com. Thank you so much for this website. Shout out to you. This is a really good website with some really great pictures. I really appreciate this. Okay, let's go to the next picture. So they want us to know that whether it's PoE or, this is still PoE, not EOP, not Ethernet over power. This is not you trying to tap in and get the internet. This is PoE. We are needing power in order to use some type of device that's connected to something, whether it's a switch or an injector or something from Ethernet cable. Okay. And I said copper pair earlier, but we're just going to use twisted pair because that's what this is. This is a UTP. Let's see, I forgot what the U stands for. UTP cable. Or just unshielded. Okay, thank you, babe. Unshielded twisted pair. Yeah. And then, oh yeah, that's right, because we went to this website last time, and here it is, right here. It had this nifty picture right here. They gave us all of the twisted pairs of unshielded twisted pair. Okay. And then we've got this blue, green, brown, orange. I don't know where this is coming in, the gray or silver, because I didn't see that when it said the others, but I know that this is what Alexander Graham Bell, and I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. Alex Graham Bell invented this. He invented this system. Yeah, he invented this system, y'all. Let me see. Go to something. Twisted pair. Go to Wikipedia. Here it is. It was invented by Alexander Graham Bell, who was a Scottish-born American inventor, scientist, and engineer who is credited with inventing and patenting the first practical telephone. He also co-founded the American Telephone and Telegraph Company, AT&T, in 1885, which is an amazing company. Yeah. That's superb, man. Awesome. So, so the UTP is unshielded twisted pair, which is, they are, let's see here for a second. 3 unshielded twisted pair. We're not going to start getting into telephones, but here it is right here. This is the circle on the outside of the unshielded twisted pair. And here's the twisted pairs. Here's the orange, the blue, the green, the brown. And so when we were on this other website, let's go back here. I'm going to put this back here because I don't want to keep going to my mail, my work. Where did the website go? Here it is. Here is UTP, unshielded twisted pair cable, category 5E or better. Okay, and it's Ethernet. Ethernet. Let's just look up Ethernet. What the heck? Let's go to DogPal. Let's just go to DogPal. Let's look up Ethernet. My husband's in cybersecurity too, so that's who you heard in the background who was telling me it was unshielded. He's really good at this. I'm still a learner. He's like expert. He's doing really good. I'm learning. So let's see here. Ethernet right here. Computer networking technology. That's where you'll find Ethernet. Ethernet is a family of wired computer networking technologies commonly used in local area networks, LANs or MANs, and I'm sure they're going to go through all the others that they are going to talk to us about. And let's do a Wikipedia on Ethernet. Just for the heck of it. Just because we're not going to go deep down into what PoE and EOP is. We're going to do that later. We're going to go over that when we study more, like when we have a reading day and we read about EOP and PoE, and when PoE has to do with injectors and switches. When we read about those, we'll go deep into the knowledge, but right now we're going to go wide with the knowledge. So we're going to go wide and deep with this knowledge, okay? And I got that from an awesome university. I just want to give a shout out right now to MIU, who taught me that all information goes deep and it goes wide. So thank you. And anybody else that I'm associated with educationally wise, you're awesome. Or else I would not have associated with you. You're super awesome. So anyway, we're gonna go to Ethernet. And I know for some people, this is a completely boring subject, but not for people who are interested in this. It is not boring at all. Find happiness in the pictures we just saw. Find my husband's laughing. I like makeup too. I like a lot of girly things. I don't think this is a real girl versus guy thing, but you either like it and love it or you're not interested in it. And I don't think anybody has to figure out over too much of time over whether you're interested in something like this or not. You either are or you aren't, you know? That's to me how it is. So, we're just taking two things on CompTIA's website and we're studying it. And we're going to have some other days where we just read, because not only am I just going live because I wanted to broadcast on 5 different places, I'm on, let's just do a check to see if I am still on. I'm live on Twitter. I'm live on LinkedIn. I'm live on Twitch. I'm live on YouTube, and I'm live on Facebook right now. And I want to really thank you, Restream, because they allow me to have this tool and use it to talk with people and to have people study with me. So not only am I going live, but I'm also having the ability to do my studying and to do my studying with people and with someone. So I really appreciate that. No matter where you are in the world, if you are watching my live streams, I am studying for the A+ CompTIA examination. I also study for the Network Plus and Security Plus. I do already have a cybersecurity. I went through a boot camp, and so I'm certified in cybersecurity. So I do somewhat have those type of advantages. But I found that I had some A+ knowledge that I needed to gain. And I started on the journey of the third test, which is the A+, and that's the test I'm going to actually take first. I'm saving up my money right now, and I'm going to take the A+ examination and become certified in A+ sometime soon. And in the meantime, I'm going to attack the learning suggestive definitions that CompTIA says are the learning objectives for the A+ examination. And today we're talking about POE and EOP, okay? And both of these are really important concepts for cybersecurity and security in general. And so we've gone down kind of a rabbit hole because we're going to not go too deep in the information, but we are going to go wide. And when we went to look at the difference between EOP and POE, we went to this website that Stephen Baccaro made up. It's a very good website. And then we looked up what UTP cable is, which is unshielded twisted pair. We looked up what these are shielded twisted pairs. So yeah, because I think, we just looked up twisted pair there. Wikipedia, we then looked at this picture that Wikipedia gave us. Here's the picture here of twisted pairs. And this was invented, this system, as you can see, it's very organized of a system, because if you go all the way down, it's all blue. If you go all the way down, there's orange. If you go down, it's green. If you go down, it's brown. And if you go down, it's gray. And then if you go across, it has its own color. So to me, This is a very organized way of putting something together. You got white, red, black, yellow, purple, or pinkish. And so Alexander Graham Bell came up with this system. Okay, and we could look into that some more, but this is the Wikipedia page of Twisted Pair, and it showed us this cross section of cable with 4 unshielded twisted pairs. Now, what's interesting is I don't know where the gray is. I don't know why they don't have the gray. I don't know why. We are not going to go really deep into this, but for some of us who are keeping track of questions that we may have, one good question may be, where did it happen to the gray pair? This pair here, what happened to that pair? I don't know. I don't know if that's the outside, but I don't know. But here we've got the orange, the blue, the green, the brown, just like the invention that Alexander Graham Bell came up with for the unshielded twisted pair. And so then I wanted to look up what Ethernet was, and that's where we are now. And so we've gone from the CompTIA's website of items that you should know, which is PoE or EOP. And now we are at the website of what is Ethernet. Okay. And probably tomorrow we can go over some other stuff. I don't even have to go in order, I can go, however, I'm not even going to say how I'm going to go because I'm just going to do it. Okay. Instead of talking about it. But today, in this row right here, we're looking at PoE and EOP, okay? And now we're going to look up Ethernet. It's a family of wired of the computer networking technologies. So we did look up what CIA was: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And that's our major baseline framework for everything in cybersecurity. That in everything that we do, we want to make sure those 3 things are considered for what we do, okay? Or taken into some type of consideration. Now it looks like this is a wired network that Alexander Graham Bell came up with, and the unshielded twisted pair are in here. They become unshielded in there. They've got this type of device that I believe it's like one of those RJ devices or something. It's Ethernet. It's Ethernet connector. Okay, we talked about connectors the other day. There was like 2 engineers that were working out of Bell Labs, and they were making connectors, interestingly enough. But this is the Ethernet connector for the unshielded twisted pair. And we're looking at this picture. And it looks like this is a port that would show that this is something that would receive the unshielded twisted pair connector and cable. And IEEE 802.3 is the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers Standards. Okay. And that is who is making this standard, when these engineers in laboratories are making stuff, they're going through the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineer Standards, okay? And this is something and we're talking about the OSI model, this is something that's always going to be on a physical layer. And it says, produced by the working group defining the physical layer and data link layers media access control of wired Ethernet. So this is first layer, P. Oh, that's what I was going to look up. It had the OSI model somewhere, or at least I thought it did. Let's see here. We're not going to go too far away, but isn't that pretty? Okay, let's go back. We're going too far. Okay, so we're looking up Ethernet because we were looking up PoE and knowing the definition of PoE versus EOP. As the CompTIA A+ examination body of knowledge says we should know, EOP is Ethernet over power, okay? And something that has to have power and is connected by Ethernet. And the PoE is power over Ethernet. And I think I just got it backwards, but Ethernet over power is when you get the internet by Ethernet cable and it's used by a power switch. Okay, you plug something in. And it should not take everything down in the house because of the frequencies and the power being different. Okay, so it doesn't affect those. It doesn't affect anything. And then PoE is power over Ethernet. And that is when you have to deal with you're plugging something in and it has to have power. And you could have something in between the power and your device, which is a switch or some type of, what was that? Let me look at this picture one more time. Let's go up one. Injector. Yeah. PoE has to do with possibly an injector. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. This goes into Ethernet and let's see here. Wow, that's super cool. Isn't that something? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh, we were just saying this. The OSI model with layers 1 and 2, physical and data link layer. So this whole Ethernet is dealing with the physical layer, and in order for you to then go into the data link layer. Okay. And widely adapted. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I mean, we can go into this later, but here, we have a lot of different stuff to go into. I think that we have exhausted some of the stuff. Oh, we're going to save this because some of this stuff is also what's on the CompTIA website that we need to go through. So I'm just going to go ahead and make some places here. I'm going to save this for later so that I could backtrack and find my little breadcrumb places of where I need to go for my A+ work and studies. And I'm going too fast because I can't find it. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. I'm going to make another one because today is 10/14. 10.14.2021. That's going into there. That's going into there. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I learned something for sure. And it's very interesting. Very interesting. Yep. And yeah. All right. I will see you tomorrow. We're going to study some more stuff tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to study, but we're going to stick with network and we're going to stick with what that's done. Okay. This we can go there. That's done too. We're going to stick with the CompTIA learning objectives, and we're going to get through 2.2, which is power over Ethernet and Ethernet over power. We did today, And I don't know which ones we're going to do for the rest of the week, but we're going to just get through 2.2. And then we're going to finish up with all the rest of the networking. We're going to do TCP, UDP ports and protocols last. I like doing those. They're fun. They have a lot of acronyms that you have to remember. So that will be an interesting day. And then you have numbers. And I just think that we just need to get through it and then figure out TCP versus UDP. And then also for other days, we would go through, we will not be able to give a scenario, install and configure a basic wired or wireless SOHO network. But we're not going to do that yet. Right now, we're going to just stick with definitional, and we're going to start doing labs a little bit later. But right now, we're going to stick with definitional information. We did go through a couple of days ago the 802.11a, B, G, and AC and the different frequencies, but we can go over that again. Yeah, we had a question that came up and we had to go through those because they were asking about which one only had a frequency of 5G. Okay. And okay, we're going to go through server roles. We're going to go through all of this stuff. IP addressing, static, dynamic, APIPA. And I'm thinking that you say it APIPA. I'm not sure. And then all this stuff, we're going to go through all of this stuff. We're going to go through all of this stuff. These are appropriate networking tools. These are things that we're going to have to look up, okay? Yeah, we're going to just have to look up those things on the internet, maybe Google. And then hardware, we can look that up too and look up different hardware. It's so funny because this one in networking, the appropriate tools almost goes into hardware, but okay, they said it's not. But if we get through these two, I think, which would be great, then all the other stuff becomes a little bit easier. Here's acronyms back here that we can go through too. All right, have a great night. Thank you so much for going with me through with what EOP and PoE is. And I hope you learned something. Good night.